back to another episode of Think Like a Barber podcast. This podcast is brought to you by BarberPro Essentials. That's barberproessentials.com for all of your barber apparel and merch. Before we get into it though today, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Hey, what's up everybody?
How you doing?
What's going on? We got everybody introduce yourself, man. We got a different look to the panel today. All right, everybody, go ahead.
Well, I'm Tazz. Tazz. I go by Tazzy Waggy sometimes. That's it.
That's what's up, man. We got Tazz on the panel. Tazz, hey, tell them what your IG is in case they want to try to find you.
My IG right now is Cuts CUTZ by BY Tazz TAZZ.
That's what I'm talking about. Cuts by Tazz. So anybody look, hey Tazz, you put that good work in.
She a dope barber.
Nice barber.
Dope barber.
That's what's up. Hey Miles.
What's going on, man?
Man, tell them who you are, man.
Well, spoiler alert, I'm Miles. I'm from the south side of Chicago. Been out here in Virginia for about, it's been 8 years now almost. So
yeah,
8 years I've been out here in the Hampton Roads area. I've been cutting here for.
Hold on. Save your story.
Okay, yeah.
Save your story. We gonna get into that later.
For sure.
Everybody know that's right. We're gonna get into that. That's for sure. All right. This is BarberPro Draw, everybody. Hey, we got a good topic today. Nice topic. Tonight we're gonna be talking about the journey. Everybody got a journey. Everybody, right? Everybody got a journey. Everybody's story is different, but everybody's story is special. And so what we're going to do is we're going to see how many of the viewers can relate to the stories on this panel. And so what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about your journey that it took to get to the idea that you want to get into barbering, some of the things that you had to go through to make your decision or as you got into barbering, and how you feel about barbering now. You know, we're going to talk about some of those things. So let's get into it. Hey, who won? So let me ask you this. I'm gonna start with Miles.
Okay.
Yeah. So hey, let me see. At around what age did you say like, you know what? I think I want to be a barber.
What age? So I feel like I'm gonna answer that kind of in two phases because there was like the young age for me, like growing up in the city, where I would go to a barbershop and that was like one of the first places where I really felt like at home. Like being in the shop environment, being around all those men and women at the time, seeing all the kids working out, helping sweep and whatnot, and the type of conversations, and then just seeing the like how those interactions between the barbers and the clients, like just really it seemed cool to me at the time, but I ain't really understand it. I just I was observing. I was always a real observant kid. But long story short, I'd say probably around like 8-9 years old when I started going into the shop like real consistently. I was like, man, it's just a cool place to be. Yeah. It's in the barbershop, you know.
Cool.
So what did we just learn from that already?
Yeah.
What we learned from that is these children that come into the shop.
They watching us.
They watching. 8 years old.
Thanks.
8 years old. I became a niner. See, I mean, I know that might be irrelevant to what we're talking about, but I'm just saying some of our biggest life choices. You know, I became a niner at 8. You know, I had to figure out who I wanted to be with, who I'm rolling, who's my team.
Yeah.
You know, at 8 years old, you figured that the barbershop was a nice environment for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's what started the ball rolling, right? And so there's some 8-year-olds that could be trying to figure out what they want to do when they grow up.
I never think something like somebody that young could want to think like, I want to grow up to be a barber.
Yeah.
But see, that's why I said I'm gonna answer that in two phases.
All right, let's get the second phase.
So
what
I feel like that was the seed that was planted.
Okay.
And I feel like that seed didn't really like come into fruition until like I feel like I kind of always took getting a haircut for granted.
Okay.
I never really understood like all the different intricacies and like how hard cutting it. I ain't even gonna say hard, but like how much there is to it. And once I started getting bad haircuts, which is after I left Chicago, joined the military and all that, that's when I was like, man, is it that hard to get a haircut? I've been getting good haircuts my whole life. Like what's to these people out here? Why can't I get a good haircut? So then I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and try it out. And just in me making that decision that day, that's what really like, was like, you know what? Yeah, I think that's something I'm interested in doing.
Yeah.
And from there, just pursued it. And got to where I'm at today.
That's, I mean, not to cut into Tazz's story, but I know a lot of us. That's how we started off, cutting our own hair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah. So, all right. So Tazz, what's up? What you got? What?
I mean, I never thought about cutting hair.
Mm-hmm.
I've been cutting hair since I was 26, 27. I'm 38 now.
Okay.
What was funny was my best friend, I call her my twin. We always used to talk about when we were in the military. When I was in the military, because she's still in, we would always talk about, well, what are we going to do when we get out? Like, if anything was to happen, we can't depend on the military. What are we going to do? And our two choices were always barber and realtor. So when I got out and I wasn't doing it, let me go try this barber thing. You know, let me see what it's about, because I wouldn't know nothing about it if I don't try it. So let me go see what it's about. And I'll never forget, I started on a Friday. And Saturday came around, and everybody was coming in the shop, and everybody wanted fades. I didn't know how to do a fade, because I just gave myself, even all over, line myself up.
Okay.
So I went to the instructor Monday. I went to him Saturday. I said, I want to learn to fade. Monday, he sent me somebody, one of his clients, one of the owner and the instructor of the school I went to, he sent me one of his clients. And he was like, give him a fade. I said, I don't even know what that is. He said, all right, I'm going to tell you what to do. He said, put a ball and a one on the top. He said, in the middle, just figure it out. I said, okay.
Okay. It's different.
So,
right.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. So,
trial by fire.
Yeah. Long story short, because I already knew, like, the little basics. Like, they told me close the clipper, open the clipper, little, like, what to do, but not how to do it. Mm-hmm. And after that first haircut, no lie, the haircuts were $5 for an even all over and $6 for the fade. That guy gave me $20.
Yeah.
For my first haircut. And when I'm telling you, like, that's that first haircut, I fell in love, and I felt like my whole life, like, was lost. Like, I really found what I love to do. Like, I fell in love that day with cutting hair and with the craft. Like, it's a craft, and I fell in love that day. And ever since, I just been trying to get better.
I know it was indescribable.
Yeah.
How you felt when you saw that customer and probably that customer's reaction to something you did.
And the funny thing is, my first fade, the customer told me, say, this better than the haircut that the owner was giving. That's what he told me.
Off the first one.
Off rip. So ever since then, I've just been trying to get better. Yeah. If I didn't know something, I tried to figure it out. Just trying to get better.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, how many other people out here you think their story is similar? You know?
Yeah.
They just randomly. They just have this idea, you know what, be a barber, because we know that our career field is not, it's not the conventional one. Mm-hmm. We set our own hours. We come to work. The TV on, the radio on. You got
wear what we want.
Wear what you want.
A lot of freedom.
A lot of freedom.
Yep.
So it's not conventional. So then people question, well, how much money do you make? And then, so we make cash money, so that's good. You get paid. You don't have to wait every 2 weeks.
Nope.
You get paid every day, and some days more, some days less.
Yeah.
But it depends on how you work your business.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just so many things about barbering that make it unique and that make it so that it's attractive to so many people. People that's watching.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, man, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and get into that. The hardest part is what? Well, I'm gonna say my part first, then we'll talk about the hardest part because there's some more levels to this.
Everybody's hardest part might be something different.
We'll talk about it, but it was on another podcast that I talked about me starting at 14. Mm-hmm. But I guess I can relay some details that I didn't relay on that one, which is the fact that my mother, she's a stylist. Okay. She's a retired stylist, and so what happened was I grew up around not the barbershop but the salon. So I saw her in there with, there was 20 chairs in that salon.
Wow.
20 chairs. They had, so that they were like, they stayed busy. Yeah. And so they're making pretty good money in that salon. So what I did was I just watched. I did a whole lot of watching. I eventually worked in that salon doing stuff like shampoos and doing stuff like I did receptionist for a while. Booking, that's how I learned how to book appointments in that kind of system.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, who was I going to say no to? Ma, no, I ain't doing it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I knew I was working there. Yeah, that's what I'm working at. Yeah, shampoo. I ain't shampooing nobody.
Right.
I'm a man. you know, and that's, you know, I'm shampooing.
Right.
That's what I was doing. Took pride in it too.
Yeah.
So, you know, got tips. So, at a young age, so that was cool. But what I'm saying is that my earlier beginnings was similar in the fact that I'd be in the bathroom with 3 mirrors, you know, and I'm cutting my hair, I'm fading my hair. And so I just, and it's like I couldn't wait for my hair to grow back again.
Yeah.
So I can do it again.
Test it out.
And then for it to grow, and then I started doing designs. You know, I had my own little signature cut. I ain't gonna tell y'all what it was.
You was ambitious.
Yeah,
Right.
so, because I want to
I'm trying
push.
to do.
Yeah, I had a little signature cut that I did on myself. You
Right.
know that, and you know, and it's like I loved it. The creative. I love the art. And then of course I started cutting some of my friends. They started seeing me, so they trusted me.
Right.
You know, of course, my initial friend that asked me to cut his hair, but he stopped, and I kept doing it.
Oh, okay.
Or I'm gonna say I took it serious as, you know, I took it more serious. So
if you need pomades, go to BarberPro. And phone for the waves, go to BarberPro. Hairstyling gel in the glade, go to BarberPro. BP on the label, original. If you looking on the shelves, then you didn't know. There we got you, bro. Go to BarberPro. 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 BarberPro Essentials. That's www.barberproessentials.com. It's not a game.
anyway, it's like just the love. It manifests itself from the very beginning, and it's like it's that creativity. It's that. What else did you like to do that was creative? I like, what else did you do besides cutting?
So for me, it was always like writing and photography, like visual storytelling and stuff like that. That's where I felt like my creative juices flowed the most. But when I did decide to finally like tap into like my barber potential, I guess, it definitely felt a little like liberating to be able to say like this is something creative that I'm producing still too. Because I don't know about y'all. I know you like to draw, don't you, Tazz?
No.
I don't know. I'm tripping.
I can't tell. The designs that
I'm gonna say them designs you do. I can't tell.
You draw. You draw. Wanted to do.
But
drawing on scalps.
I always wanted to draw, but I could never draw. Like I always told myself like I want to get better with like just using my hands to create something. I was trash. Like it was bad. And I feel like with barbering, I feel like I can kind of achieve that dream of being able to draw, because you really are just like kind of sculpting out, what it is on the head that you're trying to accomplish. And I feel like that like scratches that itch of wanting to like draw for me. That creativity that you be able to tap into as a barber is definitely something that is rewarding for sure.
That's what I'm talking about. So let's talk about the next thing. What was it? The drawbacks. Oh,
the most difficult part?
What was it that you encountered? What would you say? Like, okay, so it's fun, we get into it, and you starting to cut hair. What was the kind of like?
For me, it was actually because I was already in the military, so being in a male-dominated industry wasn't a big thing for me. But actually getting into a barbershop and actually like, it wasn't that a lot of. Because I don't like the word female barber. I just like barber.
Okay. So
like a lot of other barbers would, because I was a female, like, oh, she can't cut. Or even clients,
It took you this long to tell me that.
Yeah.
You don't like female barber. You just like
no, it's
barber. I didn't know that. So now I know.
Yeah, it's just I don't see gender. Okay.
That's my
I don't see gender.
Right.
Like I just see a person. Same thing, but. Yeah, that was one of the drawbacks for me. But where I went to school, I was already given the experience, because there were some customers that would come in, and because of their culture, I wasn't allowed, because of their culture. So I kind of got a little bit, but when it was like actual, like being in, like, I'm ready to get here, get this money, be a part of the team, and Barber was like, just, that was like the little kind of drawback. Like when I first got into it, again, this was 10, 11 years ago. Yeah. So it's kind of, the industry's grown a lot, since then. And when it comes to its like perception and connotation of female barbers, but it was still like, that was kind of like weird and something that I had to get used to. You kind of have to, as a female, even though, you gotta kind of have like a double layer of skin,
Yeah.
you know, because sometimes what a guy will say to another guy, he wouldn't say to you, and vice versa, you know.
Right.
So it's that was kind of the only real thing. And then, you know, some days, you know, it's quote unquote slow, you know, you may not make no money, you know, you may only have one cut, even though the day before you did 6 or 7, you know, so that was something that I kind of had to learn a little bit early on that I didn't really know about, but that really, me personally, didn't bother me because I already knew my mindset and where I wanted to go, so I knew I had to do the footwork, the leg work, you know.
Yeah, so that's good. So it's,
I was gonna say one thing to Tazz's point too, like real quick, I just want to shout you out, man. It is dope to see like female barbers that's actually like doing it like that are putting in the work, that are out here, you know, getting rid of that notion that, you know, female barbers can't cut hair.
Yeah.
Or even
Or
just
female
barbers
period,
in general, you know, aren't as competent as anybody else. Like
I appreciate
there's
that.
no boundary on who has the talent, skill, consistency to be able to be a barber.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that I didn't even realize that I had that same kind of thought process really until the first time that I was put in a chair with you know, someone who was a female who was a barber. And those thoughts kind of hit me, but I didn't even realize that they was, you know, I was even really thinking them for real. And then I'm sure we had this conversation before about the dragon lady when you joined the Navy. It's this lady that she's been there for I don't know how long, but when you first join boot camp, obviously you got to get your head shaved. That was probably, I think, the first time I've ever sat in a chair of someone who was a female who cut my hair and just got my head jacked up. I was bleeding. It was bad. It was all the way bad. And so I feel like that kind of scarred me a bit, but I didn't even realize it at the time. And then by the time I ended up, you know, trying to find another barber outside of the person that had been cutting my hair for 10, 15 years, it was a female. And I feel like subconsciously I kind of had those thoughts. Not really like even realizing that, well, why would her ability to be able to cut my hair be any different from anybody else? So that's why I just want to take that chance to shout you out there, because
I really do. It means a lot.
I would say it's a tough thing to be able to, you know what I'm saying, integrate yourself in a community that people, and like not even people you work with, but the people that's gonna come pay you too.
Right.
Also having that same mentality, and you to be able to continue to build upon that and work through that is dope.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do.
And this is it is a kind of like a male dominant profession, but from what I see, just from being having Legacy Barber Academy, just being an instructor,
it's a lot.
all these female students I have,
they keep coming, boy.
The female students call more than the males do. They always call them, you know, and sometimes, you know, and they're ready, like they're excited. Then they come in here and they see Tazz, and then they see Brandy.
Yeah, I'm sure that's got to be inspiring.
You know, they see Joy. They see these other female barbers in here, and that get them kind of pumped up. Did I miss anybody? Yeah, that was 3. Yeah, so it's like, and then the ones that we had before, you know, so we had some
nice barbers.
Nice,
you
know, cute. Yeah, Zara, cute. Yeah, so it's like, good
barbers.
Nice ones, man. They came through here and left their mark.
Facts. They definitely been tearing down that stereotype inside Legacy for a minute now.
Yeah. So what you got as far as for?
So I the most difficult thing for me, I kind of want to tap a little bit on like the second thing that you said, and for me it was like you said, the freedom of being able to create your own schedule, work on your own time, and do all that. At the same time, while that's a plus, and for anybody that's working a 9 to 5 or in school or in the military, and they feel like if you are looking at barbering, that freedom is probably what's going to entice you to do it. It's going to be like, man, I'm so tired of listening to what other people say. I'm so tired of doing this at this time and waking up at this time. But at the same time, just because you had that freedom don't necessarily mean that everything that you were doing before is now all of a sudden going to stop.
Exactly.
Like you got to continue to be, that freedom now has to come with discipline. With you still showing up, not just for your clients, but for yourself. And, you know, just being consistent, being reliable, You know, all the things that make up a good barber, which obviously everybody's gonna have a different opinion on that, but I feel like for me, the hardest part is just taking the amount of freedom that's gonna come with being a barber and making my own schedule and, you know, doing all of that and allowing it to kind of form some structure.
Discipline.
Balance.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, balance, discipline, all that. So I see, Tazz, yours, like overcoming certain stereotypes and the confidence, you know, yours, balance, discipline. Yeah, I think mine, my challenge was coming home from prison and knowing that, oh man, I don't know nobody out here.
Yeah.
Like, and that's your story too here.
Yeah.
Right? You know, and your story.
I'm from here. I'm from Norfolk.
Oh, you're from Norfolk. Okay. Yeah. So you knew some, but it seems like it's just so much easier for people that might have went to high school here.
Right.
You know, they get on Facebook, hey yo, I'm cutting.
I'm here.
You know, everybody's not gonna hit them up.
Right.
But then you're gonna have some that's gonna hit them, and then the word will spread.
Right around. Yep.
So, but then you got somebody like me that came home from prison. I'm from Northern Virginia. I came here, and so nobody knows me.
Right.
You know,
nobody friends to drive 3 hours.
Of course
not. Straight out
one of my Facebook friends, when I said I was cutting, he was like he just assumed I was up there. I was like, man, I'm down in Virginia Beach. You know, I'm down in the beach. But it's just that, you know, being able to build up, that was probably one of the biggest challenges for me. You have to be at the right shop.
Right.
You have to be at a shop that has traffic, that has some, that allows you to have upward mobility. You have to be able to have it. So that was, for me, that was depressing at times. I'm like, man, and then I got to prove something to my wife.
Yeah. Because
my wife's kind of feeling like, you know,
you're going to work. I don't see you work.
I don't know why you're not going to that construction site. You know, like wanting me to do the hard hat work. You know, I'm not a hard hat worker.
Yeah.
You know, not like it's beneath me, but it's like that. My hands built for clippers.
Yeah.
You know, so, and then that's what I wanted to do, and I just wanted her to see that I could pick these clippers up and these trimmers up, and make a living for us and our family off of that, and be able to come home and be content, like we have what we need, and I did what I love. I'm doing what I love to do.
That's important.
That's the main thing.
That's
so
important.
Eventually, it was rough though at points.
Yeah.
I remember one time. I'm not gonna take up all the time from this, but man, it just hit me, man. I remember one time when I was at the bar. It's really the barbershop that blew my clientele up.
Yeah.
Right. But before it blew the clientele up, there was one time I was like, this ain't gonna work, cause it's too slow over here. I'm like, this ain't what I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
You know, and I got depressed.
Yeah.
And so I told my wife, I said, hey, 6 months. I said, if I don't have nothing going by 6 months, we're going to North Virginia, right? But what happened, you know, I'm praying and everything, you know.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure I take care of my family. What ended up happening, I don't think I even waited the 6 months. Y'all don't even know this story, what happened.
Legacy, where sports barbers be. Legacy, we in the place to be. Legacy, where sports barbers be. Legacy, we in Virginia Beach.
Everybody had a key. I just told a couple of the people that I said, I'm at to leave. So I went there. It was like the middle of it was like 11:30. It was late. You know, they were there waiting on me.
Who
Two of the barbers or three were there waiting on me. I ain't gonna never forget this. They were there waiting on me to talk me out of it.
To talk you into staying. That's what's up.
And it touched me.
Yeah.
They was like, just hang on.
Yeah.
Like I just said I was going there to get my stuff to leave.
Right.
Now how often does that happen?
I ain't never seen it.
That's the real ones right there.
How often does that? I need to thank them. Like they came out there and they talked to me and they were like, and they basically was like, give it some more time.
Yeah.
And I was like, they care about me.
Yeah.
You know, and I stayed, and then guess what happened? Then I started building up.
That's one thing I think. somebody who's starting out in the industry, you got to understand, you got to give it at least, I say 6 to 8 months, depending on where you are. Yeah. If you put in that time, open and close, within a year, you'll see it. Mm-hmm. You'll see the growth. Yeah. Slowly but surely, you'll see it. But you do got to put in that time.
Yeah. No matter where, like, what walk of life you coming from as you're entering in the barber industry, it don't matter if you move into a new city and you don't know nobody. It don't matter if you from that city and you know a whole bunch of people. They still not all gonna come support you and show you love. It don't matter if you just getting out of prison, if you just getting out of the military like myself. Like, that journey and the amount of effort and grind you're gonna have to put in to be able to really, like, I feel, see the fruits of your labor to whatever, your expectation was at that time. You're gonna have to put your head down and get to it for a bit.
Yep.
Yeah. Hopefully, you can keep your head up in that time frame and have people in your support system like you did that, can just keep you on the path that ultimately you were supposed to be on, right?
Yep.
Yeah. As long as you are willing to put in that time and enjoy the process, enjoy the journey along the way, then I feel like that's the way to go.
Yeah.
I'm going through that, a very similar experience myself right now, which is, I'm about to separate from the military here in a little less than 3 months, and I'm going to be a barber full time, and so going from having that paycheck on the 1st and the 15th every month, and now going into entrepreneurship and working for myself. As much as I told myself that this is what I wanted to do, I've spent the last couple of years, enacting my plan to be able to accomplish that. At the same time, it's hard to not be apprehensive of the fact, like, man, I'm really, I can only rely on myself at this point. I can only rely on what I'm doing in the shop and not getting that paycheck, not having that, just that guaranteed money coming in. Yeah, that safety net. Having, obviously there's plans in place to be able to be all right, but at the same time, it's a whole mentality change. I feel like I'm right now just kind of trying to shift my whole just understanding of my situation to, I'm not going to be able to do everything I probably was when I was still getting paid on 1st and 15th by the government, but at the same time, I feel like I'm transitioning into what I know I need to be for where I'm at in my life in this situation.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's what's up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different thing going from that 1st and 15th to, you gotta depend on you, because before you're like, oh, I can spend all my money. It's okay because I know on the 15th I'm gonna get this.
Right.
With here it's like, for sure, okay, I made $200 today. I'm gonna go spend that because I already know I'm gonna go get another $200. But at what point are you gonna save that money, for the 3rd day? Yeah. So sometimes you're making $200, then you make $50. So you gotta make sure, you gotta make sure that you account for those days too.
Yeah. So, we talked about how you got into it. What made you say that, okay, hey, this is where we headed. This is my career path. Mm-hmm. And then we talked about some of what made you say, well, man, this is a challenge.
Right.
Man, this stuff is rough. All right, so let me know what's your ceiling, or what's past your ceiling? What you looking at for the future? Where do you want your career to be driven to? To where?
I know for me personally, I'm trying to figure out how I can travel and cut hair.
Okay.
Like I want to go to like a different state for like a week, right? Mm-hmm. Cut like 3 days, get like an Airbnb, and just have people, like clients already set up. They come into the house. I'm cutting from like 12 to 5, but I'm still enjoying that city, or mm-hmm. like that, like a legit traveling barber.
That's dope.
And then also I'm trying to figure out a product line. I really want a product line. Mm-hmm. And just want to get better at these designs, man. Like that's like, I love cutting hair, but designs is like a whole different ball game for me now. Like ever since I've been working, y'all see me, when I wasn't doing them to now, and y'all think I'm good now. Like to me, like I'm still not even where I want to be when it comes to designs, And so those are 2 things for right now. I ain't really too big into owning a shop. I may have like a little studio with like 2 or 3 other people. Nothing too crazy though. Like I just, that's me. Yeah.
That's what's up. What's up?
Yeah. For me, my biggest thing is I don't want to while I want to have goals that I plan to achieve, like as far as like where I am in my barber journey, like getting my license, my master's license, eventually becoming an educator. Right now, I feel like where I'm at, I feel like I'm a novice still. Like, yeah, I've been doing it, you know, kind of part-time during my time in the military, like a couple days a week here in the bathroom and out of the apartment and whatnot. And just within the last year or so, I've been in the shop being able to do it, but I still haven't been able to like put all my time in. Right now, I just, as much as I want to focus on that, I feel like as soon as I'm able to, I want to just get in here and grind and just really become a master.
Yeah.
Like I know that chasing perfection in our industry, really sometimes, like, yes, you want to get it as good, get haircuts and put out an excellent product at all times, and chasing perfection isn't always going to get you closer to that. I find it's really the process and the results, and not the results, but the consistency of doing it all the time and making sure that you're putting forth your best effort. You know, being reliable, showing up on time, putting out quality stuff consistently. And sometimes with me kind of having one foot in the door, one foot out the door, I feel like sometimes I don't. This is just my opinion on it too. My clients may never say this, but I feel like I'm not giving my best effort all the time. I feel like I'm not able to continue to like grow as a barber, step outside my comfort zone with doing like, you know, different designs, doing facial hair and stuff like that. I want to be able to truly like say that I'm competent and comfortable doing any facet of hair, chemical work, dyeing stuff. Like I want to do it all. So I work like my goal, what I want to focus on now is just becoming a master at this before I can go and say I'm gonna teach somebody else how to do it. While I do think that there's gems and, you know, little lessons and whatnot that I could teach people right now, I just want to focus on making sure I got a complete and thorough understanding of this game before I really start trying to impart some knowledge on people. Because ultimately, I do want to become an educator.
That's good. That's real good.
I'm gonna tell you what I love about his answer, and you're already doing it too, Tazz, is that people don't enjoy each step of the process. People, a lot of times you see people just rushing to the next step, you know, but when they rush to the next step, they're not ready. You know, some things you can be on the job training and be ready, but certain things, especially in regards to business, you want to soak up some experience first. So that you can make less mistakes later, and so that you can waste less money later. You know, all of it is an investment. So I think that you have so many people it's people that I meet, and it's not like I'm on some level, but I am on a level, right? And they just starting out, they acting like they're gonna be on my level next day. Hey,
they don't see that time you put in.
They don't see that part. They don't see when I was walking to door, putting flyers in people's houses in their doors. They don't see when I was putting it on people's cars.
Can I say something real quick? Just to that point, like I read a quote the other day. I feel bad because I ain't gonna say who this quote was from because I don't remember. But just I feel like nowadays, especially like in the social media era, like people look at results. People look at like finished products and where people are at now. Like the pictures that they posted and everything like that. Now, I ain't trying to sound like no old head. I'm against social media or nothing like that. But I do feel like it causes people to not look at the work and the practice and the grind and the hustling that people put in to get to where they're at. They're only seeing the finished products, the dope cuts, the, you know, what people are doing, what they've been able to get with the fruits of that labor that they put in. But excuse me, I'm gonna try to get that quote in, but long story short, I just feel like with people coming up to you saying like, oh, they gonna, or expecting to be where you're at overnight, it makes no sense because they're not seeing that, like everything that you've done up until that point to get to where you're at. They only seeing the fact that, oh, you know, you got a shop,
you got a school,
like that, like it was like that, you know, like it was just overnight.
Like you ain't been doing this and planning this for years, you know, probably decades at this point. You know what I mean? Like it's. I just wanted to touch on that. Go ahead.
But one thing that I love to see, what if I could grab something that's positive about when they talk like that, at least I know they have a dream.
They have inspiration.
At least I see that they're headed somewhere. You know, now I just need to see, because I done heard plenty of people talk. Like, there's some talkers out here. Hey,
Yes.
yeah, I want to do this. I'm going to do that.
Yes.
All right. All right, so when you going to start doing it?
Right.
If you need pomades, go to BarberPro. And phone for the waves, go to BarberPro. Hairstyle and gel in the glade, go to BarberPro. BP on the label, original. If you looking on the shelves, then you didn't know. There we got you, bro. Go to BarberPro. 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 BarberPro Essentials. That's www.barberproessentials.com. It's not a game.
You know, so that's one of the things that I like to be, the motivator or the positive, the inspiration for someone that kind of, maybe they don't know what to do first.
Right.
Look at me. Mm-hmm. Look at what you can even come ask me.
Right.
I want to give you something. I want to give you a nugget, something that's going to help you to take your first step or your second step. I may not tell you everything that I did, but I will tell you a lot of it.
Right. Anything I
You
do
see?
to help.
Yeah, anything I do to help. I think that as far as my journey, I love BarberPro.
Yeah.
It's while we breathing, we growing.
Yeah.
You know, there's always another goal. We were just talking about it yesterday. You know, about retirement.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if I came home from prison at the age of 34, from 18 to 34, I ain't building nothing up.
Right.
For retirement.
Right. Nothing.
I ain't building nothing up. So all those years were lost. Those were years, they were lost in the sense of financial.
Right.
In the financial sense.
Mm-hmm.
But they were a gain for me mentally.
Right.
And in other areas. I appreciate that part. But I think that nowadays it's me so motivated because I have people depending on me.
Right.
My family home.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got my barber family.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I falter, it could affect everybody out here.
Right.
We went through COVID. I'm not trying to go way off subject, but we went through COVID. And if we didn't have everything, our ducks in a row, we wouldn't have had a shot to come back to.
Right.
There were some people that lost their shot.
Right.
So it's like the decisions that I make, they affect people's families and how they take care of them and themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I gotta stay on it. So with me though, when I'm working on one thing, while I'm working on that one, I'm already thinking about the next one.
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm already thinking about it. Y'all know how I move.
Yeah,
so I'm always, that's just it.
That's where you and I are very much alike, because that's exactly how I operate too. Like you said, we was having a conversation yesterday about always looking at that next thing and chasing after it and putting our mind to it. We the type of people we are, we gonna accomplish it. We gonna make it happen, whatever it is that we try to put our mind to. But at the same time, we also got to remember to not just be grateful for the moment, but just to look back on the things that, I said I was going to do that in the past, and I'm doing it right now.
Mm-hmm.
I had that thought back then, and it was just a thought at that time, but I put forth the action to make it happen. Mm-hmm. And while I'm still in the process of doing that with another thought, I got to look at the fact that what I'm doing right now used to be a thought.
Right.
And I brought that to fruition through my energy, my efforts, and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's
what's up. Man, I appreciate having y'all on the panel today.
Hey, for sure.
That's what's up, man. I'm gonna have y'all back. I'm gonna have y'all back. And then I know what you said about female barbers, but I am gonna have a panel with all female barbers.
That's what I'm talking about.
I gotta see what y'all got to say.
Man.
Y'all ain't gonna jump on me. I'm gonna put y'all. I want y'all on here, and then I'm gonna have you also back on another panel with where we have managers.
Okay.
That way I want the managers to speak to other managers at other shops, and maybe some of the things, see what you kind of, all of this is just to help people to really think like a barber.
Yeah, think like a barber.
Think like a real barber is supposed to think.
Yeah.
So we got so much watered down stuff. So this thing is
definitely.
diluted. This thing is so ugly. It depends on how you look at it, or it depends on where you look.
Right.
But it can be so diluted and watered down, and you like, we really getting away with that?
Yeah.
I don't like it. I want to turn to the folks and start doing some checks and stuff around here.
Right.
But it's watered down.
Yeah.
It's too diluted. So, but that's what we're doing at Think Like a Barber. We're trying to make sure that we can help others so that they can grow.
Yeah,
you know, so they can
like a barber.
Yeah, think like a barber.
For sure.
All right, so we appreciate everybody that's on the panel today. Remember, your IG, Cuts by Tazz.
I ain't shout mine out yet.
What's
it's
yours?
Just, at Cuts_ by Miles. Cuts with an S.
All right, Cuts by Miles.
Check me out.
All right, that's right, on BarberPro Draw. This episode is brought by BarberProEssentials.com. Again, that's BarberProEssentials.com, where you get your all of your barber apparel, all of your needs are taken care of right there. Go check it out.
Yep.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Enjoy it, y'all.
Thank you.
Hey, man, thanks for having me.
That's what